folks, well, it's been a while. Things are a bit different here at the OZone, but we're back, and no matter what, we've got you covered for your Leafs fix right here on the OZone.
You're in the offensive zone, your place for Leafs hockey.
Hey folks, welcome to the OZone. That's Coach. We love you, KD. I'm the Devo. We're here to talk all things Leafs. Listen, I'm coming to you from the OZHQ in downtown Toronto. Coach, where are you at?
Yeah, here it's hot there. I'm in London, the international headquarters, and it's not hot here. It is not. Not raining, but it will.
We're actually a little bit damp and dreary and cool today. It's starting to turn into fall. Our little extended summer is dying here. Anyways, folks, listen, remember to hit subscribe, ring the bell. You'll never miss any content. Also, share and like the video helps broaden the audience. Leave a comment. We'll listen. We take the input seriously. It helps guide us. And it's what KD would have wanted. So hit subscribe. Listen, we've been off for a while, Coach. I understand that you broadened your NHL contacts recently, so let's dig in on this. Maybe we're going to start off with an old favorite of ours, a little bit of Where's Coach?
Okay, can't get enough of that intro. So, yeah, I've been doing a little traveling this summer. In the last one I mentioned, bumped into a Leaf fan in Dubrovnik, Croatia. But spent a week in Greece, ran into two guys with Leaf hats, got into, hey, we're going to make it to the conference final with one guy. That was great. But get this, I'm in the Algarve just 2 days ago, the Algarve, south of Portugal. And we're sitting there having dinner with Mrs. Coach and our daughter, Jessica. This is great. I look over, and there's a group of people, maybe 16 people having dinner just over here at a big table. And, kind of do a double take. And one guy has like a Ned Flanders type duster on him, like a super thick white mustache. And I'm like, that might be Lanny McDonald. Like, that's super thick, right? So I'm of course paying attention to Mrs. Coach, but I'm doing this. And so one of the guys from the table gets up. I didn't recognize anybody else. Gets up, walks past us, goes to the restroom. I'm like, holy that's Bob Nicholson. So he's got to walk right past me to go back to the table, right? So he walks past, and I got my wine glass, and I give him one of these. And so that was the end of it, right? It should be. But this guy comes up to me, he goes, hey, how you doing? You in town? You traveling? How's the trip going? He starts talking to me. And I'm like, yeah, it's great. I know who you are. How you doing? And my wife says, hey, just so you know, he's the biggest Leaf fan ever. She cuts right in. It was perfect, though. And he knows Lanny McDonald's over there. I'm like, oh my God, what are you doing, Mrs. Coach? And you know what Bob Nicholson says? You're a big Leaf fan? You know Lanny? Hey, come on over here. Yeah, I'll have you meet him. I'm like, nah, I don't want to do that. He goes, no, come on. Hey, Lanny, I'm bringing this guy over. Now it's on, right? So he brings me over, and Lanny gets up. He's, oh, hey, how you doing? So what a great guy. So look, here's a picture of me with Bob Nicholson and Lanny McDonald. I'm showing him the OZone on my phone. He's great. Loving it. I also showed him the little video of Daryl Sittler sending me the thing for my birthday. He goes, oh, I was just texting with Daryl about 2 hours ago, but we don't text about goals and assists, he says. We text about kids and grandkids. That's great, Lanny. So it's over, right? It's done. Well, Bob Nicholson says, no. Hey, Lanny, you got to meet this guy's family. This guy's great. Walk over, and now he's like, oh, hey, how you doing? I'm Lanny. My wife's like, yeah, I know who you are. So what a awesome. So we get this picture right in front of the bar. But just before we do, he says, "Hey, why don't we call Beezer in?" So just so happens at their table is John Van Beesbrook. He's the other guy in this
Oh my
picture.
goodness.
I wouldn't have
Yeah.
recognized him, but it's
Yeah.
awesome. So we take this picture. He was great. I'm telling you, Bob Nicholson couldn't have been a nicer guy. Unbelievable. So I go over to them at the end and I say, "Hey guys, I just want to say thank you so much. Like Lanny's a hero of mine. 77, he scored that goal. He went crazy. Um,
Yep.
so nice that it's so generous of your time to come over and say hi." And then I said to Bob Nicholson, "Hey, I'll see you in Edmonton in June for the final." He goes, "Why would you come to Edmonton?" I'm like, "I can't afford those ticket prices in Toronto." And and then everybody laughs. And then everybody at the table is chirping him. Like, "Why are you going to Edmonton? You going to golf? They're not going to do anything." But it was awesome. It was awesome. Great trip.
That's
Anyway,
great.
Lanny McDonald, holy smokes. Like, that's
Yep.
Lanny McDonald. Oh, it was great, man. It was
It's
great.
and that's a beauty. Katie loved Lanny McDonald, obviously, for all the subscribers who know that.
Yeah.
Used to always wear the Lanny jersey. And I became briefly a Calgary Flames fan for that '89 Stanley Cup, mostly because of Lanny, but I also love Joe Newendike too.
I'll tell you what, man.
I,
I did say to him, "Hey, congrats. I'm so glad you got out and got your cup." And he goes, "Yeah, I know it was a bad time. It was good to get out. But
mhm.
hey, I'm Leafs all the way." And
Oh, that's
what do you,
cool.
he goes, he says to me, like I know. Well, maybe he knows I'm the coach. "What do you
Yeah.
think about this year?" I think the timing is good. I'm like, "Yeah, I'm with you, Lanny. Of course. I talk
Yeah.
about that with the Devo all the time."
That's great. That's so good. Well, hopefully we'll see a couple new subscribers. Welcome aboard, Lanny. Season is just around the corner, folks, so we need to get into it. It seems like, for the most part, the lineup is kind of shaping up here.
Yeah.
I think there's still a few wrinkles, obviously, with the cap to figure out. So let's hit on this first and foremost. Coach, with the forwards, who's in, who's out? What do you see?
Yeah, so look, we took the benefit of taking a couple extra days, right? The waiver thing was yesterday, and now
Yeah.
it's pretty much set. There might be some cap hijinks here and there for a
Yep.
day, but
Mm-hmm.
first off, I put in about a week ago to our sweet graphics department. Here's how I thought it would shake out. When they went to Gravenhurst, it's like, "Oh, hey, Fraser Minton might make this team." So this is what I
Yep.
thought. The top six, I think, is set. Look, they like Pontus Holberg. They trust him. Keith trusts him. So I think in
Mm-hmm.
that third slot, I had Minton or Holmberg. But this is how I had it shaken out. Gregor was on that tryout. I think they really liked him, but Lafferty was good in the playoffs last year. So this is how I had it.
Yep.
Well, and then, Minton either makes the team or goes back to junior. Well, this is how they're opening. So pretty much exactly what I had, except for Minton for sure makes it.
Yep.
Holmberg got sent down, as did Nick Robertson. I wonder a little bit if he's going to be ticked. Not only because he's a high draft pick, scored 50 in junior, all that stuff, and he's just been injured, but also he sees his brother just lighting it up, and he's got to believe he can too. I
Yep.
wonder if maybe a change of scenery might be good for him. But this is how I think they open up. And
Yep.
just in case you're wondering, had our graphics department put this together. Here's this year's opening lineup versus last year's. Look at the left side.
It's
The left
unbelievable.
side is
That's
upgraded all over the place. I know Pierre Engvall was the long-necked Greek god. Like he's very fit. You've seen him, right? He's
right up
super fit.
close. Right up
Yeah,
close.
you've seen him up close. He's 6'2". Well, he's 6'5" with that neck, but
Yeah.
like if he had a normal neck, he'd be 6'2". The left side is way better. I don't know this guy Gregor. I wouldn't pick him out in a restaurant like I did in Lanny McDonald,
Yeah.
but he seems to be the same type of guy as Lafferty
Yep.
at $400K less. So this is great.
That's the move.
So
Yeah.
I think up front we're better than we were to start the year last year. So this is how I think we shake out. I like it. I do.
There's no question. I think the forward groups are amazing. We talked about this back in the summer. I mean, it's funny just to see Malkin's name there. But we talked about earlier in the summer, right after the first week or so, on the left side with Bertuzzi, Domi coming in, that we liked what the makeup was going to be on the left side for sure. A little bit more jam, I think, in general, and a little bit more finish. Particularly when you look at Kerfoot really as more of a left winger than a center, in my opinion, and
yeah,
just there were times where he was passing the puck on breakaways. He just no finish on that guy. I love it. I'll tell you the one thing that I'm a bit afraid of is the Leafs have been the last year in particular, but the last few years they've been very good on their penalty kill.
yeah.
And I'm a bit concerned on how that's going to shake out. And I know a lot of people are excited. Hey, maybe we'll get Matthews in there and some more stars in on the penalty kill, and that's great. But there's something to be said about you go on 5-on-4, and then there's that even up call, and all of a sudden Matthews comes over the boards, and he's fresh. Or you kill the penalty and Matthews comes over the boards and he's fresh. And now you've got potentially Matthews out there. You've got potentially Marner out there. And are you going to have that sort of response moment? I don't know. We'll see if that becomes a bit of a factor, but that is an area of concern for me.
Isn't it? It's funny though. It's like kind of in beer league too. It's funny when the puck gets going north, guys tend to have some energy.
Yep, for sure.
Maybe if we have offensive opportunities, those 20-somethings will be okay.
Yep.
But it's a fair point. We're not getting into the penalty kill, I don't think, here, but it's very fair. The guys we lost, by and large, could kill penalties. We'll see how that shakes out.
Yep.
Let me ask you this, though, Debo. We're trying very hard not to talk about Ryan Reeves as part of this the forward group.
Mm-hmm.
But what do you think?
Listen, I've talked to a couple subscribers who have been wanting the Leafs to pull in Reeves for the last couple of years. The rumor mill was swirling.
Yeah.
Not this past season as well, but the season before was really swirling that the Leafs were trying to make a move at the deadline to bring him in, and something even the previous offseason that he was pretty close to a deal. So there are some folks out there that are really bullish on this. He's a big guy, finishes his checks. He certainly has the quote unquote enforcer mantra about him, but in straight line, he's not as slow as I think some people think he is. He can move. What's he going to do out there? Is he going to be in the lineup every night? We'll find out. He's definitely going to be on the fourth line, but you got to have some grit.
Yeah. I don't know. I like some of the analytics. I sure do. I sure respect the analytics when it comes when we talk about the D in a second.
Yeah.
But and so they detest, all the eggheads detest Reeves.
Yep.
Worst player in the league, shouldn't be on the team, whatever. But he does bring something. And you could argue, well, some guy roughs up Matthews, he's not out there. Yeah, I don't think it's going to happen because he is in the lineup, he is on the bench, and he'll find you. So yeah, there's something to be said for that. Look. And then the guys talk about, well, he's not going to play in the playoffs. There's no fighting in the playoffs. Hey, let's worry about that then.
Yeah, let's worry. Right? That's right. Let's worry about that then. Okay, yeah. We're going to stay on this. We're very close to the NHL season starting. Leafs Habs on Wednesday. I'm going to the game.
Oh, nice. Yeah. Awesome.
So I guess one of the big surprises of the offseason, maybe not that big a surprise, but big experiment with 88 at center. We saw the Nylander play at center. What do you think? Is that experiment over? Are we going to see it at all in the season? What do you think on this, Coach?
Look, even Jose Barrios is like, that was quick. Like they pulled Nylander out of that thing.
Yeah.
By the way, how do you rip that guy 3 perfect innings?
Yeah.
If you're a Jays fan, you got to be upset.
You got to be upset for sure.
Yeah. So it's the right move. I don't think we see him back there. I do think Minton is a big question mark. They're going to give him his audition. More than likely, he's going back to junior. And then what do you do? Well, I think Willie, just let him thrive on the wing.
Yeah.
He's going to get 80 plus points. I think he's going to have a huge year. And he is, I mean, how many times, Devo, have we been screaming on the text or on this thing on the pod about his lack of defensive give a
Yeah.
shit, right? So now you want him to play defense where in the Leafs play their centers really
Yeah.
low. I just don't see it. So this is better. This is better. He's going to be fine. And I think they're changing up the power play a little bit. I think he's going to be on the flank. He's going to get a
ton of points on the flank
Just
there.
let him
Agreed. Especially if they play him off wing, we'll see what happens. He doesn't like to stay there anyways. He likes to.
Well,
you know,
KD loved the off wing, right? Yeah, he'll be watching.
Okay, so special teams. I brought it up already. Maybe I'll leave that for now. We'll get into it maybe if it comes up again. But Coach, let's get into your guy, your boy, Ilya.
You're my man,
Ilya.
Ilya.
He starts the season. He's got the crease, wall behind him. That likely means, if he's going to run wire to wire, that's 50, 60 games for your boy. That also means 25 to 30 games for Wall. Are they up for that? Is this crease better than it was last year? I'll serve it up for you.
You're not getting me in. I'm in a good mood. Don't take this train to negative town and talk about last year's goaltending. But doesn't it? Did you see just today they announced that Matt Murray had that surgery? He's out
6 to 8 months, just
enough
to get through this season.
Yeah. I'm not taking the bait, but look, doesn't that feel like a bit of a shady workers' comp thing? Hey, he's gonna 3 months ago. Hey, he's gonna be out. And then and it's going to be 8 months. But so let's wait 3 months and then have him have the surgery. So he's for sure out for the year. Anyway, look, that's not why you called. You're asking me about my boy, Ilya. And he is my man. But I'm going to predict something here. I think by my brother Reeb's birthday, and most people know it, right? But it's January 28th if you don't. I think Joe Wall takes the crease. I think he ends up being the number one starter. I have super high hopes for Joseph Wall. Guy's been injured a lot, faced a lot of adversity, but he came in at a time he knows he can do it now. Super pressure cooker, playoffs in Toronto, gets thrust in there, and he may have been the best player we had in that Florida series. Him or Sam Lafferty, who's gone now. But or Morgan Riley was good too. But he knows he can do it. And he has to play. Like you said, Ilya, he's had his own injury problem. So to ask him to play 60 is a lot. I know where you were going with this. I like him. I actually think he comes back a bit, though. He had a really good regular season, better than anybody could have expected. I'm not sure he's that guy. So I just have high hopes. I just have a feeling Joseph Wall is going to take it and run with it. And why not us? Jordan Binnington did it. Cam Ward did it way back when. Stuart Skinner did it last year. Why can't we have a guy that catches fire? I think that's what's going to happen.
Hey, listen, you heard it here first, folks. That's a bold prediction. We love to have those on the Ozone. I tell you what I like his game. He's got he's a quiet goaltender, a quiet game. He's not kind of Ed Belfour kind of game. Not overreacting, not all over the place. Love that style. It keeps you calm as a viewer, I find. Anyways, okay.
And so hopefully though he's not like Ed Belfour when he gets pinched for driving with having too many, and he offers the cop $1 million.
Coach, maybe we just have to make sure Wall has a good Uber account. Okay.
Get him the Uber account. Get him an Uber account. Brendan will pay for it. Shanahan. That's it. Yeah. Hey, we'll say this though about the goaltending. Really good news today, Devo. Martin Jones did not get claimed. So you've got
that's
proven
a good
NHL
point.
Guy as your three. That's
when you're cutting and slicing and you're going, geez, one of these guys has to get 50, 60 games, and that's a lot, even for Samsonov. Never done that before in his career. And then it is nice to know that there's a guy back there, because you're probably going to need maybe 10 games out of someone else.
You probably will. That's right. I mean, we were looking at the beginning of the Keith Petruzzelli or Dennis Hildeby era when one of those guys got banged up. Now those guys, those two gentlemen can
Yep.
continue to mature
Beautiful.
at the
That's
Marlies
great.
level.
All right, Coach, we have to do this. This is the scariest part, I think, as we take this journey into the Leafs lineup. Let's take a look at the back end. Seems like Riley and Brody are going to be reunited. Reunited and it feels so. I mean, what's your take?
Was that peaches or herb?
What's your take on the back end? Is it good? Is it good enough? Is it good enough?
It's okay. It's okay. So, a little context. So, here's how we're opening. You're right, Riley and Brody. Here, I would have McCabe with Liljegren. I don't think they're going to do that. I think they're going to play McCabe with Klingberg, and then Gio with Liljegren. At any rate, those are the 6 guys. Connor Timmins was fantastic in the preseason.
That's tough.
Got hurt. He's out a while. So this is really it. Other than that, maybe Simon Benoit guy as an emergency guy. This is it. So is it good? No, it's not great. But look, I did the same thing with our hardworking graphics department. Here's us this year versus last year. Jake Muzzin and Justin Hall 3 years before that were really good. But here's the thing. Even though they were slow to start last year, like they were the same. Right. They were 6'4" every night, right? They took up a lot of space. So I like Jake McCabe. He's more mobile. I like them better than late era Muzzin, but early era Muzzin was really solid. Justin Hall for Liljegren, I'll talk about in a second. Rasmus Sandin started the year because Liljegren was hurt on his off wing or his offside, and he wasn't that great, right? Timothy Liljegren, we're counting on big things from him. I do think he can play in the top 4. How many times, Devo, last year did we say he's been good?
Yeah, well,
he makes that bonehead mistake.
He was good, and then he made that mistake. I think you know exactly what I'm talking about, and it was like a house of cards because he made that mistake every night after. What's this?
It was so egregious, the mistake he would make, that guys are like, "Whoa, I can't even believe he tried that. What is he doing?"
It's
way out of position.
It's wild.
Yeah. So
again, I'm going to bring this back to the special teams. That's my biggest area of concern. They don't really have a guy back there. Listen, Hall was a whipping boy for the Leafs.
No, look, I think you were objective on Hall the whole time. He wasn't a great puck mover. He didn't do some things really well, but you were consistent. Like he played the most on the penalty kill, arguably the best penalty killer. 8 all kinds of minutes. Who is that guy?
Yeah, we don't have that guy.
Right, So, no, we don't have that guy. And I'll tell you who that guy for sure is not, is Klingberg. Look, I suppose this 6 is okay to the trade deadline. But let me reiterate, Klingberg is awful defensively. Awful. Like worst in the league last year, awful. So there's this article recently, we put it up here in The Athletic. Dom Lucian put this up. Can John Klingberg bounce back to be a top pair defenseman? Hey, folks, you don't have to go back through the archives of The Athletic to read this. The answer is no. No, he can't. He can't. I mean, don't waste your time. Do you know how I know? Hey, I'm the coach. We talked about it. I met Lanny, but look, I got sources all over the league. Here's me with one of the Stars equipment guys, middle-aged Steven Zadell. Hey, Steve, how you doing? Oh, hold on. Sorry. I'm not supposed to use his name because
don't burn your sources.
Source.
You can't burn your sources.
This guy that I met. It's this guy that I met. By the way, friend of the pod. But he was saying Dallas was ecstatic not to sign him back. It was addition by subtraction. They got so much better, right? Okay. Did they have a little hole on their top power play unit when he left? Yeah, sure. But hey, they got Miro Heiskanen. But in his end, he was dreadful. So I hope I'm wrong. I really do. Just like I hoped I was wrong last year on Matt Murray. I hope I'm wrong, I hope Klingberg is serviceable defensively in his own
Yep.
end.
He
I'm
won't be
telling you, it's
serviceable
not
on
going to happen,
his
though.
own end. You and I were scratching our heads when the news came that they signed him in the offseason because nothing added up. But there is one thing that you can look to. The Leafs, in most offensive categories, found themselves fairly high up amongst the league. In the one area where they were in the bottom third of the league was in points by defenseman. And I think that this
Yeah.
move is to try to amend or adjust for that. The Leafs are always built to outscore their problems. Ironically, you had up earlier, Coach, and I'll splash this again, how they started opening night 22-23 on the back end. As we know, that didn't last very long. The Sandin experiment on his off wing was terrible. Liljegren did come back. Muzzin got hurt. But there were other injuries. We lost Riley for a bit. We had some horrendous players logging big minutes on this team for parts of October, all of November, most of December. We had Mete in there, right?
I believe you and I saw Mac Hollowell play.
We had Mac.
So, like,
yeah,
we're
the back at and it's also worth noting that I believe the Leafs were in the top 3 or 4 in the league in terms of teams for keeping goals down, goal suppression. So they managed to do it as a 5-man unit rather than relying on a Chris Pronger type guy on the back end. They're going to have to do it again. This lineup back there it's all about turning defense into offense quickly and getting over the boards and getting off the ice and handing it over to the Stars. And if they can't do that, if they get hemmed in, all hell is going to break loose. And that's another reason why 88 can't be a center, because you just can't. Once they start getting hemmed in, they are in trouble.
Hey, Devo, you're spitting fire today. You even did some research. What? Maybe we should go a couple months between pods.
Yeah,
you're nailing it.
I'm nailing it. It's absolutely true. All right, let's get into some predictions, Coach. The season is right around the corner. You've already put out some doozies already. You're already out on the limb, so let's stay out there. Coach, what do you think is going to happen this year? Give me some numbers.
So I got Joe Wall as the playoff starter.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm saying Matthews and Marner both stay healthy, which you might not think if Matthews is going to kill penalties. But and they're both going to set career highs. I think Matthews gets 62 goals. And I think Marner gets over 100 points. He ends up with 108.
Wow.
I also think in the division, there's a changing of the guard. I think the Leafs are going to win the Atlantic and win it kind of handily.
Okay.
I have the Leafs first. I got them 9 or so points ahead of Boston in second, Florida third, and I have Ottawa beating out Tampa by a point to get in the playoffs.
Okay, hear that, Ottawa fans?
I'd love to see the Battle of Ontario again, because that was all Leafs. We need to tilt the ice in our direction once.
That's right. Absolutely. I like the call. I think Matthews gets more than 50 for sure. Listen, there you have it, folks. Kev, we miss you, pal. How do we do? How do we do without him? It's tough. Help us out here, folks. You know we've got you covered. We'll always have you covered. Even if we're shorthanded, we've got you covered right here on the OZone.